So guess what?
Is coming for you.
Somebody, and I'm gonna say who it was very soon, was crazy enough to wait for it, go here and press this button. um, so for those that know, this is just some private sport way to show appreciation. Or I just put this here. Never expected anyone to do it. Anyway, when somebody does this, I try to offer a video at their request. So a shout out to Gwyn from State 236. So I appreciate the support. So the subject of the video is gonna be what to keep in mind when growing. So I'm just gonna give some tips that some are gonna be useful for free-to-play players and some are gonna be useful for pay-to-win players. So the first thing I'm gonna try and explain is builds and how they affect rallies, events, and how to win or choose what you are. So I think one of the first things that you need to know is what kind of player you are. Are you a free-to-play player and maybe spending some but not a lot? Or are you a heavy spender? And I'll also try to explain how winning fights or rallies work, but in a basic, like I'll just keep it as easy as possible because it can go in really deep, but I'll just teach the basics so you know how to grow towards that, so that you have the basics to work with advanced tactics. Okay, so I started ready so I can explain some of the basics. One of the first things is troop power. Now, troop power is determined by amount of plasma and troop tier. So the higher the tier, the higher the plasma. And also the higher amount generates the score. So I'm pretty much maxed out. That combined with just these is about 19 million battle power. That's what I'm sending. So here you see a score of 14. You see that he's pretty close with March size compared to mine. Now because of that, like the higher the march size, the more troops you can send. So that all adds up. So the basic thing to help support a rally is have the highest amount of plasma and the biggest march size as possible. And you can see all the variations. So if you personally just go for a higher amount of plasma and march size, that's how you can really support the rally leader, because they're not using your stats. So everybody in here is gonna have the stats of the rally leader. So there's no point in a free-to-play player to work on stats. The research building, the hero gear, chief gear, it all becomes obsolete when you're always joining someone. When you're in a reservoir raid, you're gonna get reinforced, or you're gonna have to need to be reinforced, but no, because there's no way that everybody can have high stats. So for a free-to-play player to help win a rally, get plasma troops, a highest amount of plasma, and a bigger march size. So to clarify, total amount of battle power in the rally versus rally leader stats is the total strength, the total hit power you're gonna have. So if your enemy has the same stats as you have, then the troops in your rally are gonna define if you win or lose. So the next focus for free-to-play players, in my opinion, should be troop training speed. So with free-to-play players, I don't focus stats. I don't recommend it, because whatever event you're going to be participating, maybe state versus state, reservoir, or normal capital, you're never going to beat the other one in terms of stats. How you do defend yourself is with a high amount of troop and getting reinforced by a rally leader. And the rally leader can help you the most if you have a higher amount of troops. I'm just gonna take this one. Oh, hold on. Agan, I'm not sure. Sorry if I pronounce it wrong. But you see him here, 1.1 million troops. Now, I hit him and I lose. But this isn't really a loss. With this, I know I can push through and I'll just keep attacking him. If he is reinforced, the same thing happens with the rally leader. All those troops get his stats of the rally leader, and it's easier to defend. And the more troops you have, the easier it is for a rally leader to defend you. Like if you're low on troops, then I can still push through, or someone else can still push through. So that's why I say, as a free-to-play player, focus on troop training speeds. Like probably even the first thing before you're even gonna work on march sizes. Like if troop training speed is available, do that one first, because the earlier you do this in game, like if you play this game like me, and I'm already playing for a year and a half, like that's a lot of hours of troop training speed if you focus on that straight away. So first get those things before you start working on stats. That's my opinion for free-to-play players. So yeah, I've just created a small overview, so you can just share this or look at it. And again, this is just my opinion. Some could have others, like stats do help. It still stays troops versus stats, and if you're not reinforced, that's just still gonna help you. But overall, I think this should be the focus. So, rally leaders focus. This would be my overview, especially considering newer states. Now, some things might change, like Plasma 8 is already releasing in 1 to 5. I've set it up in priorities 1, 2, and 3, what I think you need to focus on if you're new to this, and I'll explain why. And also the stats focus order itself. From what I've learned about this game, and these things do change over time, is that infantry have the biggest impact on winning a rally or a march. The next thing that has the biggest impact is hunters. And the thing that has the least impact is riders. That's why you always see me use more infantry than riders in videos. So for free-to-play players, by the way, I would consider focusing on hunters, because that gives better points at, let's say, trap. But other than that, this should be the focus. And also if you're joining rallies, having stronger infantry just works with the stats. So, but like I said, these things do change. But for now, I think this should be the focus. Now, why do I say that chief gear, the battle research, the badges, and hero gear is the priority and not plasma and heroes? Heroes, they release every 6 months or every 6 weeks in new states, and every 3 to 4 months. I think they're going faster lately. I think they're going up with the timetable for every 3 months. So that's just gonna cost you like what? Only on heroes alone, that's in newer state, that's just gonna cost you $900 or euros a month to keep up. And then when you've caught up, it's still going to cost you 600 euro or dollar a month to keep up with the new heroes. So, and every time a new hero gets released, your older heroes become useless. So it's a pointless investment. So it's only useful, depending on how much money you have, to just do that when all the newer heroes are released, and then I would still wait for the new generation and then maintain it or upkeep it, because it's just, this investment goes useless, and these don't lose their value. So that's why I say heroes, they do have a very big impact though. Like if you have it, it makes a big difference. But if you're playing this on a long term and really working out your investment to make it worth it on the long term, I say do these last. The reason I say priority 2 is for plasma is because getting plasma 5 is pretty expensive. And in terms of stats, they don't do much. However, the Institute of Plasma does do a lot in terms of stats. So, but I still consider this priority 1. Focus on chief gear, hero gear, badges, and the research lab. And then when you're getting there with Plasma 5, then focus on the Institute of Plasma. These stats do a lot, but it's still very expensive compared to the other one. Like everything is expensive. But I say priority 1 is this. Priority 2 is Plasma. Like Plasma troops, yeah, in Battle Power they do a lot, but you want to focus the stats part first, because those stats get carried to everyone. So let someone else focus, like people who spend not a lot, let them focus Plasma to fill your rally, because it's going to be your stats with whoever's in there. So even though you do have an impact, it's less of an impact than the people that are joining you in terms of rally leading. So this would be my view on rally leaders focus.